Yeah, I think that's my thing. People can talk about it, yes or no, but I know I gotta do better. I had a long summer. I think I relaxed a little bit. I'm not taking care, but I gotta be better.
How do you feel like that's affected you so far this season?
Just I don't know. I had a long summer, like I'm saying. I had two Olympics, 3 weeks off, and then I said I relaxed a little bit, maybe too much, and I just gotta get back on track.
The Dallas Mavericks blew a 17-point lead at home, but all anyone wants to talk about is Luka Doncic's weight problem. This is the Gray Area right here on Kevin Gray Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube, and you can catch me on your home with the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers. 105.3 The Fan. The Dallas Mavericks fall under 500 for the first time this season after blowing a 17-point lead at home to the Brooklyn Nets and lose 102-99. Kevin Durant was spectacular in the fourth quarter with 11 points. James Harden also had 6 points as the Nets came back from being down 17 points to defeat the Mavericks 102-99, dropping the Mavericks to 11-12 on the season. This despite the fact that Luka Doncic in this game had 28 points for your Mavericks. But the story coming out of this game is not only the dismal shooting that the Mavericks continue to find themselves in, but Luka Doncic's weight and conditioning problem, which I'll get to here in just a second. But the Mavericks put together the third worst shooting performance from the three-point line with at least 46 attempts in NBA history. They went 9 of 46 from the three-point line. They took 46 of them things and missed 37 of them. 9 of 46, 19.6%. The Mavericks shot from the three-point line. They shoot 40% overall while allowing the Brooklyn Nets to shoot over 50% from the field for the entirety of the game. They got out-rebounded by 11, did the Dallas Mavericks. The amount of brick houses that Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, and others, Reggie Bullock included in that also, continues to be a problem. Tim Hardaway missing a wide-open three that would have tied the game and sent the game into overtime. And now the Mavericks find themselves under 500, continue with a dismal shooting problem that has beleaguered them all season long, and questions about whether or not this team will be able to find a way out of it. I'm not going to get into all the talent conversation and the fact that this team needs to improve and upgrade its talent. That's been a conversation that's been 3 years running with this team. But I've never seen a team go from being as good of a shooting team as it has been over the last couple of years to as dismal and as pathetic and as poor of a shooting team as we've seen in a long time, because this stuff is frustrating. There was no point in the game when the Mavericks were playing the Brooklyn Nets that I thought that any of the threes that they were taking were going to eventually go down. But that's just beside the point. Because what became the story after the game was not the fact that the Mavericks can't hit the broadside of a barn, or the fact that they're 2-8 in their last 10, or the fact that they can't find a way to make a bucket when it counts. It was the fact that Luka Doncic's reported weight coming into training camp over the last couple of years has been at least 260 pounds. That coming from ESPN's Tim McMahon, because Doncic continues to deal with a litany of injuries, whether it be a left ankle and knee soreness, whether it be a sprained left thumb, whatever you want to say, Doncic continues to deal with injury. But also coming into this season, he has not appeared to be in the kind of shape that you would want a 22-year-old to be in, knowing the amount of basketball that he played over the summer, to where you thought coming in he should be ready to hit the ground running for this NBA season. Now, let me say this. The NBA right now is in the third season in the last year and a half. The amount of wear and tear that these players are dealing with is not something to be taken lightly. But for Luka Doncic, at 22 years of age, playing the amount of basketball that he did, the wear and tear that is on him, there is still really no excuse for him to come into the season, and apparently for at least the last couple of years, well overweight, knowing the amount of physical toll that he's going to take night in and night out. And unfortunately, you've seen that show up in terms of his conditioning at times, not having the kind of lift on his jump shots, not having the kind of conditioning to get back up and down the floor, where even Reggie Miller during the broadcast said that it looks like Luka Doncic is laboring and beleaguer getting up and down the floor. Now, look, Doncic will eventually work himself into shape. And I'm not questioning his ability to continue to be great and get better as his career goes on. But one thing that he and Zion Williamson are going to have to learn going forward is that in order to continue on the projected track that they are on, they have to take their health a little bit more seriously. Now, Doncic did admit, look, I took 3 weeks off. Maybe I took a little too much time off, let myself go a little bit, maybe too much, and that he has to do better and that he will get back on track. He has obviously admitted that, and that is one thing that I've always appreciated about Luka Doncic, is his willingness to say, look, if I'm deficient at something, if I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing, including technical fouls, although he picked up his 5th technical foul in the game against the Brooklyn Nets, he has always admitted to things that he has to improve on. But at some point, these things have to start taking action on the floor. Again, Doncic is a baller. He's a 22-year-old prodigy who's a 2-time first-team All-NBA player and is going to be one of the greatest players to ever play this game. And all players have to go through something like this, whether it be adversity, whether it be things that they have been dealing with that are demons in their careers. Whatever the case may be, all players have to deal with it. Not every player was created to be Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or have the maniacal work ethics of those players and others who I've just named as examples. But at some point, Doncic is going to have to take this a little more seriously when it comes to his health. And again, he's 22. If I had that kind of summer that Luka Doncic had, putting an entire country on my back in terms of Slovenia and taking them to a 4th-place finish in the Olympic Games, I'd probably want to take a few weeks off to eat a couple of bonbons and do what I had to do to relax and get myself ready for an NBA season. But that's not the position I'm in. That's the position that he's in. And the fact that he is in this position speaks to the amount of gravity and weight that's on him when it comes to carrying this franchise. Look, I'd be tired too if I was carrying this entire franchise around on my back year in and year out when the talent around me hasn't improved the way it's supposed to give me a chance to think that I could have a legitimate future in terms of winning a championship with this franchise. I get that. But man, that is pretty frustrating knowing that over the last couple of years that it's been reported that he's been at least 260 pounds. Now, I'm not sure why this is coming out now. I'm not sure why this has started to become a discussion point when it comes to Luka Doncic and his weight. I hope it's not a distraction that tries to get us away from what's actually happening on the floor to try and get us to turn and look at something else while over here this team is shooting at an abysmal rate night in and night out. Because you're not going to draw me off sides here with this one. This team is not playing good basketball. Luka Doncic's conditioning, his weight, that's an issue, sure. But he's going to work his way back into that as it goes on. And maybe he needs to sit down for a little while to get his full body fully recovered so that by the time you get to the most important games of the season, he's ready to go to ensure that the Mavericks are making the kind of run that they think they can make. But at the same time, you're not going to draw me offside. This team can't shoot, at times not defending great, and more importantly, they seem to be in a funk that has been there for quite some time, really all season long. And until they fix that problem, this persistent problem is going to be there. Can they find a way to start making shots? Or more importantly, get to the rim. We know that this team is generating open shots at the best rate in the NBA this year, and they just simply haven't knocked them down. But at some point, especially in the 4th quarter of that game against the Brooklyn Nets, stop shooting the amount of threes that you're taking. Take the ball to the basket, do what you have been doing during the first 3 quarters, which is move without the basketball, cut to the rim, allow playmakers like Luka Doncic to be able to find you and get you easy baskets to try to start having some shots go down to develop some confidence that as the quarter goes on, you can start knocking down open shots. But they simply didn't do that in the 4th quarter. This team has to find a way to get easy buckets, to get their confidence up, to start seeing the ball go down, getting to the free throw line, knocking down free throws. In this game, they took 22 free throws and made 18 of them. Find a way to get to the rim, make things easier for yourself, and be in a position to be able to be better down the stretch. I'm not putting this on Jason Kidd just yet because he's not on the floor shooting the basketball. What I am putting on Jason Kidd is the lack of adjustment. I'm not saying, hey, quit shooting them threes, find a way to get to the basket and try to make something happen. But, hey, it is what it is. The Dallas Mavericks need to get it together and find it quick because these games continue to roll. And right now, through 23 games, this team is not very good and they are unwatchable. But, hey, all anybody wants to talk about right now is Luka Doncic's weight problem. You're not going to get me. The Dallas Mavericks take on the Memphis Grizzlies and then are still continuing on the road as they try to get themselves back to 500. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. It's been another episode of The Gray Area. We'll talk to you later. Peace.